In this video, we are going to discover the truth about reading and what's going on in the mind behind the scenes. Look at this image and try to read it. The human mind is a curious beast. At any one moment, including right now, our brain is processing billions of bits of information and is controlling us without us knowing it. You see, our consciousness is based on tiny little bits of perception and experience called percept. Imagine if you could feel the touch of every inch of the material in the clothes against your skin, or hear every individual sound making up the background noise in your surroundings. If you make a fist with thumbs up and place your arm at full stretch in front of your face, the size of your thumbnail at that distance is the actual size our eye can focus on in high resolution. It's called the foveal point, and it's tiny compared to the rest of the picture we see. Go ahead, test it out by looking at the thumb at our arm's length. Everything outside of that point is a blur, and that is why we have to move our eyes around to focus on the things we want to see in detail. We call this nifty trick saccading. Imagine, though, if you could focus on that point and everything in your peripheral vision too. How rich a tapestry would that be? Well, believe it or not, the subconscious part of the brain is doing that for you every second of every waking moment. Our brains are computing and analysing all of those percepts, which make up the senses, without us even knowing. In fact, the subconscious manages all of this information and pushes about just 16 bits or percepts into our conscious mind at any one time. It's a paltry amount when you think of it. Nevertheless, our brain literally decides what is important and what to make us aware of, and we have little to no control over that. Without a doubt, most people are familiar with the subconscious to some extent and would agree with the facts presented in the table as shown. I don't know what I've said until I say it. Undoubtedly, those points listed are true, yet we should note that the subconscious mind also plays a commanding role over language. We can listen to speech or read information in text and analyze it all in real time. We are able to respond instantaneously to what someone says, or make a connection or conclusion to something read, no matter how complex. Moreover, we do all of this without thinking, planning, or even being aware of the depth of exchange we are making conceptually. We may think we know what we are talking about. Even so, the words come out before we've even had a chance to think. We obviously notice this when something slips out unintentionally, or when we are emotional and tend not to mince our words. In such a case, perhaps, the truth unwittingly expresses itself in all sorts of potentially hurtful ways. But in reality, we really are not in control of what we say, or even most of the ideas that pop into our head. Leading Danish science writer Tor Nordstranders states in his book, The Use of Illusion, that the subconscious part of the human mind makes decisions a mind-blowing 0.2 seconds before the conscious part becomes aware. In a nutshell, this means that we are being mind-controlled by our own minds. Where does reading come in? Reading is the key to learning. It is symbolic conveying of complex concepts through the written word. You can tell somebody something all day, every day, and it might not sink in. Nonetheless, we all know what happens if you don't read or misread a sign, particularly an important warning sign. Not only does reading help us with everyday mundane bits of info, it also opens up the entire back catalogue of human knowledge and endeavour. Eminent linguist Noam Chomsky suggests that humans are hardwired to create, understand, and develop language. Apparently, it's in our genes. Indeed, it is so powerful that our brains can process a mess of jumbled words and make sense from nonsense. However, for us to use our language skills well, we need to give our brains the right kind of input. Imagine you want to power a small light. You would only need a small input of a few volts from a battery. If we want to illuminate a stadium, however, the power input needs to be multiplied to the max. Unquestionably, the richness of input we give our brains through reading determines how well equipped we are to analyze and create language. We must try to read a wide variety of books. Doesn't matter if you're more interested in fiction or non-fiction, just mix it up with different authors, themes and subject matter, whatever may be. But make sure you pick up a book and dive in. Subconscious rules. By exposing your brain to a larger vocabulary and range of ideas, you are creating a reservoir of useful information for your subconscious mind to make use of automatically. This means you will naturally start to read faster. You will recognize more words on sight and be able to work out meaning and hidden meaning effectively. You will even start to write better without having to think too much. Basically, you are adding vital, important images to a storage drive for safekeeping. These images, or symbols, can be recalled at any time to construct a clearer, big picture. In truth, it is none other than the subconscious overlord who manages this facility. But rest assured, it can do a much better job of it than we ever could. Let's face the facts. By keeping that part of our brain well fed and happy, we are guaranteed to keep an extra load off our minds. Question: can this be done in other languages? Spanish, French, Italian, Greek, Russian, Chinese, Japanese, Hebrew, Arabic? Why not find out? Amazing, huh? Yeah, and I always thought spelling was the most important. If you're struggling to get your child to read, why not take a look at our recommended reading lists? Link in the description. Or you can get in touch with us for professional support too. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for future updates. And remember, it's all connected, so stay connected with Online Super Tutors.